I'm in on that.
Good evening, everyone. If I can have you take your seats, we'll go ahead and get started tonight. Monica's running over here. Come on, Monica, get in your chair. Oh. Well, welcome to Jackson Magazine's 11th Top Teacher Awards, and I'm Shelley Jusick. I'm the operation manager here for Jackson Magazine, and I am also a former educator myself, so I certainly understand and appreciate everything that everyone in the room, including administrators, go through every day on a daily basis. You know, I can't believe a year ago we were scrambling to give these awards out, trying to find places and giving them out outside and just going to the different schools. I'm so glad that we're able to at least gather in some fashion today, and it's just wonderful to see faces and people. I just can't even believe how excited I get when I get to see people now. Jackson County teachers have been making a positive impact on the lives of students and for many, many years. And it's so fitting that we have this event during the Teacher Appreciation Week. And actually today is Teacher Appreciation Day, although it is also May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, thank you. I had to throw that in. Since 2014, though, Jackson Magazine has partnered with the Jackson Community Foundation and the Hearst Foundation. And each of our top teachers will receive a $1,500 grant for use in the classroom or for professional development. And the Teacher of the Year will receive $7,500 this year, which is an increase, and can spend that any way they like. Later tonight, you're going to hear from Jackson Community Foundation Board Chair Randy Purvis, who will explain a little bit about those funds. Boy, this year has been trying for all of us. We've all had to make changes along the way to do things at work, and in many cases, you know, everything has changed, so we're doing things at home different, we're doing things at work different, no matter what career you're in, and things have really changed. But this has been especially so for our teachers and the support people in the schools as well. Technology has been the primary tool for teachers and students, but with that came more obstacles. And I know the normal classroom didn't look normal this year, and when you were looking at your children's, students' faces, I'm sure there were many distractions behind them, things that didn't normally happen at school, like mom screaming at the little one in the background and all of the different things, the TV on and those things. And we've just really had to make many, many changes and appreciate what was going on in their homes as well. So we applaud all the teachers for the dedication that you guys showed during all of this, before the pandemic and during the pandemic. We always can make those changes and do what's right for our students. Now, before we begin the awards, I'd like to make some introductions. First, I know there's a couple people in here that have been in the top 10 in previous years, so if you could stand. I know of 2, and there might be 3. One back there, and now. All right, thank you. Also, we have our board members. Now, we have an editorial board for Jackson Magazine. It basically helps us to know what's going on in the community. They give us story ideas and introduce us to different people that we should know, and we really appreciate what they do for us as well. We also like to thank our sponsors. We have many sponsors for this event: True Community Credit Union, Sylvan Learning, the Stowe Insurance Agency, Jackson Area Career Center, the Hearst Foundation, and the Jackson Community Foundation. We're very appreciative of what they do for us as well. And we couldn't have this event if we didn't also have support from the Commonwealth Commerce Center, I've Been Framed, Jackson Rental, and LTI Printing, and our top teacher committee members as well, and I'm going to talk about them in a second here. So how do we select these top teachers? This is one of the most grueling processes, as all of you will know, sitting in this room, and what you've been through just to get here tonight. I've heard it's actually harder than getting the Top Teacher of Michigan award, but we appreciate that. It is a detailed process. Once I get the nominations, I accept them all year. I will do a background check. I do check with the administrators to make sure this is a viable candidate. And then we give all of those nominations to one particular committee that serves as our initial committee. Now that initial committee has to read through all of those questionnaires, those long questionnaires and the nomination forms, and make some decisions based on a rubric that we have. Once they do that, they narrow it down to the top 10. Then a second group of people come in. These are former teachers, and they come in and they do those evaluations that you all had. And that was very difficult to do this year as well, going into virtual classrooms and wondering, are we going to be having any problems with parents having someone see their child? But we figured out that wasn't any different than going in a classroom. But there were challenges, and that observation committee really rose to the occasion. And then from there, we have another group of people, totally different group of people, that sit down and look at that data, and they look at the comments that were made from the observations, and they will also read through those top 10 applications, and they come up with the top 5, and that is very difficult to do. If in a scoring manner, these are just minimal differences between all of the teachers, so they're all very good teachers and do what they say they're doing. Now you can read more about all of these teachers, by the way. At the end of this event, we will have magazines for you to take. You can take handfuls and take them home and sign your autograph for all your friends. But yeah, so you'll be able to read more about that. Now, again, I wanted to thank all of those committee members. There are a lot of them. There's an executive committee that oversees this process as well. And normally we would invite them tonight, but we couldn't. We really needed to keep our numbers low. So I know that they really wanted to be here tonight just to see you get those awards, because they have been with you in some manner throughout this process. And they feel like they get to know you through reading your information. Now, at this point, I would have two of our sponsors come up and speak, but Dan Draper couldn't, unfortunately, be here with us tonight, but he wanted me to let you know that the Jackson Area Career Center is very proud to work with teachers like yourself. They understand and support the hard work and dedication of all teachers everywhere, no matter what you're teaching. And the Jackson Area Career Center, if you don't know, is a service agency of the Jackson Intermediate School District. They serve over 12,000 juniors and seniors throughout the year, coming in and out at different levels. And they have 22 different programs that they serve their students. Those programs, the students can earn college credit, they can earn industry standard certifications, and just really get a good feel for what's going on in the world. So it's a wonderful program out there, and we thank the Career Center as well for being a sponsor. So that was from Dan Draper, Jackson Area Career Center. At this time, I'd like to introduce another dedicated sponsor of the event, Adam Stowe from the Stowe Insurance Agency, who's going to come up and speak with you now. Here's Adam.
Hi everyone, my name's Adam Stowe with the Stowe Agency, MEMIC Insurance. I know a lot of you. A lot of us have talked on the phone. I'll keep it short. I'll keep it sweet. I think this is our 3rd or 4th year that we've helped sponsor this event, but we're really happy to be sponsors of the event, especially this year. I do a little teaching myself, just a little bit, a fraction of what you guys do. It's hard doing it electronically and remotely, so I have a lot of respect for all of you, especially the winners, but all of you who are educators here. A brief little spiel about us and who we are, and then I'll get out of your hair. So our company, MEMIC, we're a company that was founded by educators for educators back 71 years ago to provide insurance to the educational community. So if you work for a school, if you retired from a school, auto, home insurance, that's kind of our thing. One of the things that I'm most proud of is that we give back grants to schools and teachers And one of our winners this year, Heather Swanepoel, she actually won a $10,000 grant for technology for her school. Yeah. So yeah, MEMIC did 15 of those grants, and one of our Jackson educators and Jackson schools was one of the winners, so pretty cool. You might say, well, that's neat. How could I apply for a grant like that? It's super easy if you want to. All you have to do is go online to our website, stowinsuranceagency.com, and we do grants the whole year round. Right now, we're doing a grant. I think they're doing a dozen or so grants for $5,000 makeovers for like the front of the school, like the reception area when you first come in, so super cool. Also, they're doing grants for professional development materials like books. So if you want to check that out, stowinsuranceagency.com, that's our website. And again, just want to say congratulations and also thank you to all the winners and all the teachers who are here. Really hard year this past year, I know. So thank you and congratulations.
Flowers, thank you. Okay, now we'll be giving awards to the top 5 teachers. However, I'd like to introduce the other 5 teachers that round out our top 10. And like I said, it is just an honor also to be in the top 10. There's over 1,600 teachers in Jackson County, so imagine going through this and making the top 10. It's a huge accomplishment. So they deserve recognition here tonight too. They went through all the same process. We are going to call your name and have you stand, and then we have some flowers here, and these flowers were from the Jackson Area Career Center students, so we wanted to make sure that you got them. So if you will stand, I need Amanda Aguilera from Columbia Schools, back there. Good job, Amanda. Courtney Forner from Northwest Early Elementary. Courtney. Janie Mendez from Jackson High School. Sarah Natupsky, Michigan Center High School. Hopefully I said that right. And Sandy Wolfinger from Grass Lake Elementary. Let's give them all just another big round of applause. I just am so glad they're here tonight. All right, I'm sure you guys are all sick of hearing from me tonight, so I'd like to introduce our MC for the evening. One of our sponsors from Sylvan Learning, we have Stacy Thompson, the Center Director.
Hello, my name is Stacy Thompson. I am the Center Director of Sylvan Learning here in Jackson. I first want to thank every teacher that's in the room, whether you teach currently or you taught in the past. Also, a huge congratulations to all of the top teachers. Before I introduce tonight's top teachers, I would like to tell you a little bit about Sylvan Learning Center. At Sylvan, we take a truly personalized approach to learning. Each student starts with an assessment so we can gauge exactly what they already know. From there, we build a customized learning plan based on only the skills that the student does not know. Our low student-to-teacher ratio means lots of one-on-one guidance for each child. The teacher is right there to help or answer questions right as they come up. At Sylvan, we believe everyone involved in a child's life should work together towards a common goal. We meet monthly with parents to celebrate each of the small wins. With the parents' permission, we reach out to the school teacher to find out what additional needs there are. By working together, we are able to quickly build confidence in each student that starts at Sylvan and soon begins to spill into all other areas of life, most importantly, at school. It is no secret that this year has been a challenge for everyone. The great news is that because Sylvan is so personalized, students can start at any time, and we're adding extra hours to serve families this summer. So if you're looking for a part-time job, come talk to me. I'm truly fortunate that I get to work with so many local families to help students achieve academic success. All right, now we're ready to announce the members of the 11th class of top teachers. To our winners, when I call your name, I would like for you to come up while I read a few things about you. Then you can say a few words if you would like. You will then walk over here to grab your award and get your picture taken. I will be introducing in alphabetical order the 4 top teachers first, and then I will introduce the teacher of the year. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. Tracy Dreyer. The past year has been a difficult time for students, but teaching psychology gives Tracy Dreyer an easy way to reach out. She is able to talk about mental health with her students, as it is her content, her curriculum. So they talk about depression, anxiety, suicide, and all kinds of issues that are present in their lives. During a lonely year of social distancing and remote learning, those conversations could very well be a lifeline for students. Dreyer's curriculum dovetails nicely with the approach that has guided her 13 years teaching at Northwest and her 8 years teaching via online charter school, Widening Advancements for Youth, or WAY. Virtually or in person, Dreyer wants students to know that they have someone who cares. Additionally, in her efforts to ensure that students feel safe in and out of her classroom, Dreyer created Northwest Gender and Sexuality Alliance, formerly the Gay Straight Alliance. Tracy is a certified trainer for the Michigan Department of Education's state initiative called Creating Change, Creating Inclusive Learning Environments for All Students, especially LGBTQ. Her vast knowledge in this area has helped to formulate a positive, nurturing culture for staff and students around these sensitive issues. In addition to her work with her classes and the Gender and Sexuality Alliance, Dreyer leads a travel club which has taken international trips, including stays in Costa Rica, England, Scotland, Ireland, Wales, France, New Zealand, and Australia. Next year, Dreyer will take a group of students on a trip to Italy and Greece. The long-awaited trip was originally scheduled for 2020, but was pushed back due to the pandemic. After over a year of prioritizing safety throughout the COVID-19 pandemic, the trip will be a welcome return to adventure. Congratulations, Tracy.
Am I allowed to take my mask off? Yes. Okay. So my biggest challenge this year, I think, has been trying to teach through the mask because I am a facially expressive person, and my jokes don't make the same sense when you can't see the face. So I won't speak for long because I know there's a lot more people to come up here. But I first off want to thank Jackson Magazine and all of our sponsors for hosting such a great event and honoring teachers. I'm not gonna lie, I did not plan on being a teacher. I was gonna run a bookstore. I was gonna own it. It was gonna be great. Really, I just wanted to sit and read books all day. That was my vision of owning a bookstore. And I remember my parents sitting me down and they were like, "That is a terrible idea. you should not do that." I don't know if you noticed, but bookstores are closing. Mm-hmm. So I remember them saying, "Well, maybe you should be a teacher." And I thought about it, and to really get this, y'all have to understand, I am very stubborn. So when my parents tell me something, I'm usually like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna do that then. So the fact that I actually listened was a blessing. If you two would actually cover your ears for just a second. They were right. This was the much better path for me. And I'm so grateful to have a career where I get to be myself and I get to impact students and be impacted by them, and all of the highs and lows that come along with that. So thank you to you two for not letting me own a bookstore and pushing me in this path. Yes. Thank you all.
You should have held it up. All set?
Oh, can we get one of those? Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. Good job.
There we go. Can I leave this up here for now?
Go ahead and take it. Take it with you. It's yours.
Anthony Smith. In his role as 8th grade science teacher at Northwest Kidder Middle School, Smith spends plenty of time in his classroom communicating with students as they work out equations on his walls of whiteboards. But Smith also makes time to skywalk into other classrooms, sitting in, learning techniques from other teachers, and helping to interject in an interdisciplinary angle. He was able to learn a way to motivate his students to turn in assignments. By drawing a bar graph on the board, showing their progress as a whole, and getting excited when one class almost doubled their goal. During the COVID-19 pandemic, Smith had to come up with ways to assist and motivate students both in the classroom and virtually through remote learning. He also found it is important to understand where the kids are coming from and what they're going through. He may have a student coming from a rough home life or one who is into drugs or contemplating suicide. He found this to be even more prevalent when students are isolated at home. Because of this, he has emphasized two-way communication and open dialogue so that students feel supported and taken care of, something other teachers are learning from him. Congratulations, Anthony.
Hello. Can you offer me because it's on?
Turn it on the bottom.
Oh.
Sorry, that's my fault. Push button.
Okay, no. Hi. So, yes,
sorry.
my formal name is Anthony, but you guys can all call me Tony. So, first off, yeah, I'd like to just say thank you to Jackson Magazine, the Jackson Community Foundation, the Hearst Foundation, just for putting on this event. And we get to celebrate good teachers. And for me, I think that's really awesome because I think we need to celebrate good teachers. And I get to be a part of it this year, which is, I'm just very, very grateful. I was not expecting to get emotional, but if I am, I apologize. So, I gotta say thank you to all the people that have supported me and support me on the teaching journey. You got my administrators and my colleagues, you got my friends and my family. Hey Dan, could you bring me my bottle of water, please? I promise I'll try to make it short. I just gotta get through it. So there are 3 people that I want to single out specifically, and that's my wife, Laura, and my 2 daughters, Dottie and Ivy. And unfortunately, they're not here today due to a scheduling conflict. But I want to share with you guys what they mean to me, especially in the time of COVID. So my wife always helps me find the light, especially in the darkest of days. And she reminds me of my true calling as a teacher. My daughters, Dottie and Ivy, are 5 and 2, and they are my best teachers. They teach me how to be a better dad, and they make me a better, more compassionate human being. And ever since this past August, I've been reflecting on a verse from Psalms, and it says, "Weeping may stay for the night, but joy comes in the morning." And I know for many of us, there's been a lot of tears and stress and frustration and heartache and hopelessness. But I'm just telling you, joy comes in the morning. And I think every day that I reflect on this verse, I walk into my building and I think, how can I just bring a little bit of joy, a little bit of hope to my students and to my staff? I think if we can do that together, we can get through this, we can persevere through this crazy time. And so again, I just want to say thank you for this event. Thank you for the opportunity for me to speak here, and it is a privilege to just be standing here amongst all of you folks. So thank you.
Next, we have Matthew Snell. Matt Snell was a top teacher last year, and if there is one word that summed up this year's COVID-19 teaching, Matthew Snell said it was innovation. To help with the transition to virtual learning, Snell has organized virtual meetings with some district and state choir directors that include brainstorming and venting sessions. Instead of presenting to live audiences, he and his students learned to sing to a camera. Not surprisingly, wellness has been a big focus at Northwest. Snell invited a yoga instructor in to help out stressed students. Tuesdays are poetry days where he reads a poem and discusses it with his students with help from the English department. A portion of each Friday is family time, where students share funny, high, and low points in their lives. To improve his curriculum, he has adapted this year's curriculum to represent a more diverse range of composers and has been exposing his students to professional performances by persons of color. A year ago, Snell was awarded a grant from the Michigan Vocal Music Association to bring in Broadway stars and have them interviewed by various choir directors and students throughout the state. This included Northwest High School students. Snell credits his own children with helping him become a better teacher as he listened to their comments about their preschool teachers. Congratulations, Matthew.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everybody who's made this event happen. When you get nominated for this, you realize it's a labor of love from your family, your students, your colleagues, your administrators, and your community. And so when I look up here, I think of all the students that are saying thank you, and that is really special. And so if I could use this time to pay it forward to all the teachers out there. This year, we've said it numerous times, this year has been difficult, and I just want you to know you've been seen, you matter, you are important, and on those days when Zoom crashes and Gmail's down, and you know, that kid who hasn't shown up to a Zoom meeting shows up and says hi, like the worst days, you've been incredible this year. And I think it's so important that it's Teacher Appreciation Week, and I would encourage all of us as we go home to pick 4 or 5 educators in our lives and send them a note and let them know that you are so important and you are so valued, especially as education changes. We have a lot to do next year as we come out of this, and we want as many voices in the classroom, in the meetings representing us. Thank you all so much, and thank you.
Next, Heather Swanepoel. Swanepoel has a double major in psychology and social work, but after working in social work for a while, she realized she was on the wrong end of helping someone. Heather has taught for 14 years, the last 9 at Townsend Elementary School in Vandercook Lake Public Schools. This year, she works with 5th and 6th graders in language arts and social studies. She called herself a whole child teacher. Over the years, she has learned every child is dealing with personal issues, and unless those are addressed, there may be a variety of behavioral or health issues in the classroom. She once learned that a boy's bad behavior was the result of his mom's boyfriend being arrested. Or she finds out there is no heat or running water in the house. Or it's mom's birthday and there isn't anyone to buy gifts for her. She talks to students about coping mechanisms, and in the latter case, she bought gifts and a cake for the student to take to his mom on her birthday. In 2019, Heather brought the Scripps Spelling Bee to Townsend Elementary and was able to help one child who suffered from severe anxiety and OCD participate in the school event. To communicate better with parents, she set up a Facebook page, utilizes many community resources for adult mentors, weekend food bags, and donations for books for the students. She also facilitates the Reaching Higher program at her school. Recently, as was mentioned earlier, Heather won a $10,000 technology shopping spree grant for her school. You can clap, that's exciting. This grant was through the Mimic Foundation, which helps schools and educators with grants. Congratulations, Heather.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you so much to Jackson Magazine and to all the sponsors for supporting us, especially this week during Teacher Appreciation Week. Like, what better place to be than with a group of like some of the best in Jackson County? So thank you so much for, like, you guys helped me to be a better teacher. I get so inspired just listening to you guys talk too. So thank you so much for everything you guys do for our kids too. And you know, I'm going to thank my administrator. She's like so behind me all the time. Whatever I need, she's there and helps me to, like, she's backed off and lets me go. And so I appreciate that so much more, that she gives me that respect to be able to do what I think is best for my kids. And then my husband and my kids, my family, who have, I don't even know how many hours I drove them into my classroom. Like, he didn't realize it was in our vows that, like, in August, you know, he doesn't have a life. So anyway, thank you. And so, you know, like, I just wanted to talk for just a minute about this year. You know, it's all been crazy. I just want to thank you guys because we did it. Like, we, with no training and no warning, we're just like, hey, guess what? You're teaching virtually from now on. So, but we did it. And I remember being so scared. Like, I am not the I win a technology grant, and it's my least favorite thing. Like, I'm learning all the time. So I'm like, Screencastify, Zoom, like, what? What am I doing? So learning all these new things that I didn't know and trying to, you know, put them in act, and it worked, and we did it. And so, like, all of us together, we did it. You know, we took care of these kids who were at home. I was so scared. I'm like, how am I going to engage them, and how am I going to make sure they're doing stuff, and how am I going to entertain them on a screen, and like, what? I have to do what? And we just did it, and it worked. And so our kids they're okay. If it was, you know, those extra Zoom calls we need to make, or those personalized phone calls home, for me it was like crazy Snapchat videos that I'd sing happy birthday and send them to those kids that I know needed a little extra. So just all those crazy things that we did to keep our kids engaged and to let them know that we cared, because at the end of the day, they were the most, you know, the biggest priority is how are we going to reach these kids who maybe aren't eating, who are depressed, and who are having mental health issues, and we're still there for them. So I just, you know, like, from one teacher to another, thank you. I saw you guys all do it. I know our staff was, and I know you all were too. So just thank you for reaching out to those kids. And, you know, like in teaching, a lot of times that, you know, the rewards aren't always immediate. We don't always feel them right now. Sometimes we're planting seeds and we see them later. And like for me, I was sharing with my principal, you know, for me it's that 19-year-old girl who, the last time I saw her, she was a 5th grader. And out of the blue, I get an email, or a Facebook message saying, you know, I'm pregnant, I don't know what to do. You told me in 5th grade you'd always be there for me. And, you know, it's that, you know, in his 20-year-old student who had gone to prison and called me on his way home from prison, like me, of all people, on his way home from prison calls his teacher to say, hey, I got my GED, and will you come to my house tonight because I want to show it to you. Like, he'd been in prison 2 years, and I'm the person he calls. He's like, there's nobody who will care about it as much as you do. It's like I stopped by his house to see him get out of prison and have his GED. It's just those kids that, you know, those were years later. I didn't know I'd impacted them. So it's just, you're all doing that. It's like such a privilege to stand in a room full of people who are all reaching out to kids, because every one of you have stories like that that you can share of those lives that you've changed and those people that you've touched. So it's just humbling to be here with all of you, and thank you so much.
Is she in a good spot? You can take that. Need some help? You're covered.
Last but not least, I am honored to introduce our 2021 Teacher of the Year, Jordan Crockett from Northwest High School. Jordan is not able to be with us tonight as she has just delivered a baby on April 23rd. Baron Benjamin Crockett, 6 pounds, 11 ounces.
And we have a video.
We have a video that Jordan recorded for you, but first I will read a little bit about her. Teacher of the Year Jordan Crockett refers to her parents as her first teachers. They taught her, among other things, a love of service. An early school teacher then built on that framework of caring and service and made a key impact on Crockett's life. By the time she graduated from high school in Portage, Michigan, Crockett planned to be a middle school teacher. She pursued a double major in English and social studies at Spring Arbor University and performed her student teaching at the Hanover Horton Middle School. She graduated from Spring Arbor University in 2013 with a bachelor's degree for secondary education. 2 long-term middle school substitute teaching jobs came next, including several months at the middle school at Parkside before moving to Northwest High School. She teaches U.S. history, civics, an elective creative writing class, and she created a literature elective, Monsters and Mayhem, to encourage boys to read. Crockett offers her students choices such as watching an Edpuzzle video that she made, or they can do traditional student notes. She uses affirmation to build relationships with her students, including providing positive individual feedback throughout the school year, and she tries to reach each family at least 3 times during each trimester, sharing information about their students' progress. This year, she has worked hard to make learning equitable between her face-to-face learners and her virtual students through videos she makes herself. At the end of the school year, she writes a personal letter to each of her students with comments of appreciation, recognition, and affirmation, as well as wishes for their future. Crockett fills several leadership roles at Northwest High School, including designating curriculum, acting as a history course owner within her department, and leading after-school tutoring that provides emotional and content support for students who need extra one-on-one time. This coming fall, she will be pursuing a master's degree in curriculum and instruction through Eastern Michigan University's online classes. To be more connected with her students, Crockett and her husband Ben and their children live within the Northwest School District. Congratulations, Jordan.
Good evening. My name is Jordan Crockett. While I will not be with you celebrating our community's excellent educators tonight, I am no less grateful for the opportunity to share how honored I am to be recognized as Jackson's Teacher of the Year. I would not be the educator I am if it weren't for those around me. I have many to thank for their support during my teaching career, including my husband Ben, our little girl Maven, my parents, my siblings, and my entire Northwest community. Currently, I am expecting my second child. Rather than be with you at the reception, my husband and I will be with our new son, Baron Benjamin Crockett, born at the end of April. His name originates from one of J.R.R. Tolkien's many stories. In the story of Baron and Luthien, Baron endures extraordinary trials to win the hand of Luthien, an elven princess. Baron's solutions are creative, unexpected, and resilient. I hope that my son grows into these traits. With grace, resilience, innovation, and empathy, teachers have adapted to meet the challenges brought by the pandemic, much like Tolkien's Baron. It is the balancing act of keeping family prioritized, instruction intentional, relationships genuine, and wellness purposeful. The pandemic hasn't crippled my teaching craft. Instead, the challenges have helped me become a more skillful educator. Whether I am continuing our pandemic routines or moving into the new normal of the post-COVID classroom, empathy will always be at the heart of my teaching philosophy and instruction. Empathy makes relationships in the educational community genuine, open-minded, honest, and just. Teaching empathy to students makes learning human, relevant, applicable, and accessible. It is my hope by using empathy as the lens through which history, civics, and literature are taught, that students will become advocates for diversity, justice, inclusion, and equity. A teacher's use of empathy towards students and colleagues, balanced with empathy-based instruction, will help shape the next generation of leaders that our country so desperately needs. Teaching is my vocation. I cannot imagine doing anything else. While winning Jackson Teacher of the Year is a great honor, my teaching story is unfinished. I am excited to see what future chapters of my teaching story hold. Thank you.
Next, I would like to introduce Randy Purvis, Board Chair of the Jackson Community Foundation, who is going to tell you a little bit about the Teachers Fund.
Push it and hold it.
Okay, good evening again. I originally told Shelley I didn't think we needed microphones for the size of the crowd tonight. I was sitting there thinking about my experience with teachers, and the first thing I thought about was the first 5 out of 6 teachers that I had as a kid all retired. They all quit. The first grade teachers stayed on, but 2nd through 6th grade, they all said, see you later. I've actually been a teacher myself for about 5 years. I taught algebra, and then I became a CPA, and I've spent the last 34 years auditing school districts. And so when I looked at the agenda for the program tonight, I thought, well, you know, all the exciting stuff is done. The flowers are handed out, the checks are handed out. And so my job is kind of a downer, you know. My job is, it's sort of like being an auditor when we show up at the school district and we say, you know, we're here to help you. No, most people's perspective of an auditor is they're the ones that come in after the war is over and they bayonet the wounded. So, how's that for an image for a CPA? So, in 1992, Tony Hurst and the Hurst Foundation were very proactive, and they approached the Community Foundation and said, we'd like to establish a teachers fund. We would like to deposit money in that fund so that it can grow, so that we can provide grants to teachers, to encourage them to be creative, to encourage them, motivate them, and facilitate doing things in their classrooms and for those teachers that the school district budget can't provide. And so the Hearst Foundation gave a gift of $220,000 in 1992. Since that time, the Community Foundation's part in this program is that we manage the funds, we handle the investments, and Monica and her capable staff cut the checks once the committees have selected the people. Last year, the total amount distributed was $9,000. This year, it's $13,500. That's pretty remarkable. So in 29 years, the Community Foundation has now granted over $300,000 in Jackson County to teachers. So that's the power of the endowment. It's continuing to grow. We started with $220,000 29 years ago. We invested it. We've distributed $300,000, and today the fund sits at $429,762. And that's why we're able to give grants. Instead of $9,000 last year, it's $13,500 this year. We're very proud of all of the teachers. None of us would be here without you. I certainly look back at my own life. I look at my daughter as a special ed teacher in North Carolina. I look at my daughter-in-law, who is an elementary ed teacher, and also has 4 children, 3 of whom are school age. And so I honestly don't know how she's done it, because she's had 4 children at home. Her husband's a manufacturing engineer, so he's not working from home. So she's teaching at home and virtually. Pretty darn amazing. So kudos to all of you. Thank you for allowing the Community Foundation to be here and be a part of the program.
To wrap up the evening, I would like to bring up Christy Siders, the CDO of True Community Credit Union and a sponsor of tonight's event, for closing comments. Whew, I got lots I want to say. Tony, you had me at joy, man. If you knew Christy Siders, you'd know that's what I love, and that's what True Community. We have a value called making joy common in uncommon places. It is one of the values that our organization strives deeply to do. So you had me there. Heather, you had me at so many spots that tie into True's mission of cultivating legacy-defining moments for the people and places that we serve for generations to come. And you were giving me all the feels. I know we have an opportunity to talk about True, but to be honest with you, the piece I'll add, because Sheila will probably be really mad at me if I don't, we are so leaned into financial education as True Community Credit Union, and Sheila Troxel's here as our Director of Financial Education, and many of you know, we're in every school district, that's here tonight. We're there helping to teach kids how to save, spend, and share wisely, and that's a very, very important thing to us. But more than that, I was thinking about last year, we were out at Northwest Schools outside giving these awards, and I remember that when I spoke, the thing that kind of resonated with me was how much this industry of education aligns with our purpose at True, which is to inspire the pursuit of a life well lived. And I remember I talked about the fact that if I've ever seen an industry who is pursuing, inspiring people to pursue a life well lived, it's you guys, it's the teachers. And then this year, I was kind of thinking this morning about what I wanted to say, and then you kind of wrapped it up for me in that what you're doing every single day is our mission of cultivating legacy-defining moments. And our vision, which is to come alongside and be your partner in writing a life story that stretches beyond your imagination. And that's actually what you guys are doing every single day. I'm blessed to be the mom of a college junior and a senior, so I haven't had to do the littles this year or during COVID, and I can't imagine having to. I know that my employees are exhausted, they're tired, and I know that everybody is exhausted and tired, but I would just tell you, man, keep on keeping on. Because Tony, I'm emotional too, and I would tell you the work that you are doing in this community is bar none for these people that are going to be leading us down the road, and I'm so eternally grateful to you guys for that. So, I think I'm supposed to say something real, too, right? Am I? I think I am. Wait, let me find that piece. Chrissy doesn't do really good with scripts.
I know.
If you know me, you know that. I think I'm just supposed to thank you for being here. Tell you to pick up a magazine, and to go to jacksonmagazine.com, and have a good night.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.